another video. And today I am doing a video on a topic which I've been asked many times before. And the topic is why I'm an artist. Why did I choose to be an artist? What's the point of being an artist? And especially in today's world. You're never going to be a Picasso. You're never going to be a. Just telling you guys, my sort of why I'm an artist and what you should do in order to be an artist. And so here it goes. But before I tell you this, make sure you like, share, subscribe to this channel if you're watching. And also, next week I'll be posting an actual video that I did with my boy Alex Absolute. You should check out his YouTube channel. We did something very exciting. And also, just to let you guys know, if you're new to the channel, this channel basically showcased my art, my music, vlogging, travel, and many other things. Hence why I'm called Radio the Artist. For people out there who are still trying to figure out what is your channel about, Radio the Artist is pretty much a good epitome to what your channel is about. It's a mixture of all things, but at the end of the day, the main focus is myself. That's who I am as a person. So, why am I an artist? Well, I am an artist because I love the joy of creating. I love the joy of not just telling a story, but also doing things in a way where I can tell people how I see the world and what I think and how I create. I became an artist a long time ago when I was a kid. People might think I'm still a kid. My mother would bring coloring books, and I was so interested in drawing out the lines and whatnot. And then later on in life, I just got more in tune to art. I just liked the way that it made me feel. It made me feel like I can do anything with my talent, anything with my creativity. And I think being an artist, and especially in today's world, artists tell stories that people wouldn't know about, or tell stories of how people feel in society and what they really are trying to convey in a message. And I think artists, especially the greats like Picasso, Salvador Dali, Rothko, Rembrandt, they have a telling that most people have a hard time understanding. I always believe that artists see the world in a beautiful way, and they see the world not in a beautiful way, sometimes in an ugly way, sometimes in a grander way that most people normal people, I think, have a hard time understanding. I'm an artist because I just like the freedom of conveying my thoughts in a creative way. I love being an artist because I don't know, it feels so therapeutic of creating. But it doesn't have to be just painting. To everybody out there who's a YouTuber, filmmaker, a musician, the ability to create, an ability to convey a message, whether it's positive or negative, it feels so great. It makes you feel like you are leaving an imprint in this world where people can see it and say, wow, this person is being all too creative. But I feel like in today's age, especially with social media, and I feel like with this internet, access to good art is a lot more challenging because there's so much out there, and it's hard for people to decipher what is good art and what's bad art. And for me as an artist, especially on Instagram, I always get it's so many artists out there, you kind of get lost. You kind of get, you kind of get it's all molded up. So to be noticed as an artist is a lot more challenging. As back in the day, as an artist, I would say it's easier actually back in the day. It's a lot harder. The art world is always evolving, but I always feel like the establishment in the art world is quite slow compared to the art establishments of the internet, as I might say. And so being an artist sometimes can be quite challenging because you also have to bear in mind there's other people who also want to be artists, and there's also other people who are also trying to push creative boundaries as well. But what I also love about the internet as well is the ability to collaborate and the ability to meet other artists who have the same mind as you and are willing to work with you and willing to help you elevate your career to another level. Whether it be making music, whether it be painting, whether it be poetry, which I kind of do all at once. I and also being an artist for me also helps with other things as well. Keeps my mind clear, keeps my mind sharp. And sometimes there's a lot of things I would like to say, but I can't say it, so I just do it through my art. You know, as an artist, I think, like I said before, we see the world in a different way that most people have a hard time conveying. That's why I love, like, filmmakers. I love people who are musicians. I love people who are poets, people who are able to speak their mind and be expressive. And I know, especially like in certain parts of the world, we need artists who can display that kind of feeling and show people that we have the mind to think our own. We have the mind to do something that no one has ever done. As an artist, I know for a fact that I'm not the best artist in the world. I'm not a Picasso, I'm not a Basquiat, but even those artists had to keep practicing. They had to get better. They had to work harder to elevate their skills, to elevate their talent. I mean, Picasso used to paint real people amazingly, but then he changed his ideas and he changed the way he wanted to convey his life and the way he wanted to convey what he seen through his eyes, and he changed the movement. And even the artist establishment said, "Oh, you can't do that." And sometimes that could be frustrating for me because I don't do canvas paintings. I should though. I love to. I just don't have the space to. And a lot of art establishments, galleries, well, especially on Instagram, they always like my artwork. I get this all the time. You have art galleries, big art galleries, liking your stuff on Instagram. Oh, comment, this is amazing. But then when it comes to actually like showcasing my work, they're like, "Oh yeah, but you don't paint, you just draw. We don't want your art." But you like my stuff. I know, but we just like it. Doesn't mean want to show your work here. And it's quite frustrating because I feel like my work, I maybe that's how an artist is, but we think, "Oh, my art is different, it's unique. I have something." But just because it's different and unique doesn't necessarily mean people will accept it, which is disheartening for me because I always feel like, well, I have a voice, I have something that I feel like would change something in a different direction. What is the ultimate goal? Well, my ultimate goal as an artist actually is ability to, well, not ability to just sell work, but I think as an artist, my ultimate goal is to be another artist who convey a message to the new generation. We need an artist that's kind of like what Picasso was and what Salvador Dali was, but in this new generation. I know I'm not gonna get there yet. I know I'm not. I know that it's gonna take years. Hopefully not when I'm dead, and then everybody's like, "Wow, Radio was an amazing artist. He was dope and like sell $1 million paintings," which usually happens. I don't want to be known when I'm dead. I want to be known when I'm alive, and an ability to somehow convey a message in a positive light. I've always been a huge admirer of Keith Haring while he was alive, and ability to spread art in areas in the world where they need a message. And I feel like my ultimate goal as an artist is the ability to spread my art across the world and do things in a positive light, whether it be in communities in my country or in communities in even China or and around the world. An ability to connect my art and talent to people that don't have a message, and collaborate with other artists who want to also have a voice. My goal as an artist is not to uplift myself, but to uplift others. Who knows? Maybe I win a Nobel Peace Prize for using my art to convey a positive message across the world. Be like Martin Luther King, who was actually, by the way, the youngest male recipient Female is Malalia, the girl who, I forgot her name, but she's like the youngest female. I mean, yeah, that'd be kind of awesome. But for me, to be honest, I don't. I know it's like a double-edged sword. Oh, I don't want to be world famous, but then you actually become famous. I don't really care much about that because I know as an artist, if you continue doing good work and you're actually doing something more positive and you're actually getting your name out there and you're actually doing all these collaborations and like doing all this other stuff, you will get known. And I know that some artists struggle to sell. And I know that last a friend told me, doesn't matter what you sell or don't sell. It's the ability to convey a message in an artistic way. I mean, so in essence, to dive into more of your question, there's a lot of goals to which I can achieve or want to achieve, whether it be selling work or collaborations, whether it's having my artwork in big galleries or or doing art in communities where art, is inaccessible, whether it be doing murals or doing art with children. Like I remember, actually, the greatest job I ever had, which was not paid, but I still loved it, was I used to do art with cancer patients in a hospital. I remember before I came to China, I was volunteering at a hospital in North Carolina, and I loved that job. The ability to create and the ability to like help kids, and there are kids who had cancer. These kids were like, you don't know whether or not they will live or not. I'm actually getting emotional talking about this, but I loved doing art with the kids because, it shows that you are allowing your talent to do something positive, and I enjoy working with them, like doing art with the kids with cancer, and like, see them smile and having fun, and like, it takes, that joy, that having that joy and having that ability to create and express how you feel. It takes away from their pain that they're feeling from the medication and trying to get better and be more healthy. And I really love enjoying doing that. If I had the opportunity in a heartbeat, I would go do it again. Doing art with cancer patients, whether with kids or adults, kind of like an art therapist. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was the most amazing thing ever. Because not just because of myself, but it felt so great seeing these kids happy. It felt wonderful knowing that they're appreciating something so positive. And like I hope, I would like to continue doing that. It's always something that I enjoy doing, which is which is rare. I don't say it's rare. It happens these days, but I feel like not many. I don't know. Maybe not many people I know from this world are doing something that positive. I don't know, especially in this day and age. I don't know. I feel like with social media and everybody's like, well, look at me, my attention. I feel like as an artist, our duty in this world is to give back. Our duty as an artist is to help others and to also be the voice for the voiceless, whether it be a musician or whether it be a poet, whether it be a filmmaker. I mean, there's so many filmmakers I love and enjoy, and they do just that. So that's why I'm an artist. I'm an artist because I love doing that kind of thing. Some of my work might not convey that. Some of my work might not convey what I'm thinking. But the ability to create and have that freedom to express yourself is the most liberating thing you can do. So, what advice do I have for artists out there who don't know what to do? Well, I mean, you have social media, so that's one thing. But don't just show work in social media. Like, that's one thing I learned a long time ago is that, especially this young generation, everybody's so tuned to social media. Oh, I gotta post videos on YouTube and I gotta post videos, and just don't go outside the box. For me, okay, cool. I do YouTube videos, I do Instagram, I post photos on Instagram, I do art at home. But I go out and collaborate with artists, I go out and talk to people, I network, I do a lot of stuff. If I showed you like a list of things I've done outside of social media, you people will be like, really? You've met these kind of people? I mean, I've met artists more famous than I and had chats with them and talked to them, and like I've met famous musicians and brushed shoulders against big wig, politicians, like meeting the first lady. But what are some people who are some of the people that aspire to be an artist? Keith Haring. Keith Haring was actually one of them. There's Salvador Dali, Picasso, Basquiat. There's like a few Japanese artists I like. I forgot their names. Even not just artists like painters, but like poets like Langston Hughes, James Baldwin. It's not a poet but a writer. And a few others. It's a lot of it's a lot of people I'm inspired by. There's so many people. It's a hard question for me to answer, not because I don't know. It's because there's so many people, and like my brain, I have to like. I hate that. And then you go home. Oh yeah, this guy too. I think Keith Haring is probably the most inspiring for me because, well, there's a side note to that. Why? And later I found out that actually Keith Haring had some relations with my family, and that's what made me even more like wow, and not just inspired more, but like wow, like really, but. I really liked him a lot because he used his art not just for himself. His art was for the people, which is rare, especially in artists, like Jeff Koons. I'm not a huge fan of Jeff Koons, but like his art was for the people, and that's what made people like him more, which is rare. Most artists are about themselves and like, well, look at my art and look at me, but they don't really contribute to a huge lot into not just popular culture but to society. People still wear Keith Haring's artwork. People still talk about him. People still know about him, including my uncle who used to actually work for him, who used to sell a lot of his like merchandising and stuff. It's a long story. Maybe I'll do a story on that one day. Actually, I might if I go back to New York, I'll probably interview him, but it's an interesting story. And that's what made me more, not infatuated, but more like, wow, really? The fact that he had some sort of relations with my family, it's kind of interesting. And so, like, learning about him and understanding his story, it made me realize that I could do the same thing too. And that's why I went out and did murals in school, like one or two, and made me do art with cancer patients or, volunteer at homeless shelters and help the homeless. I also did a lot of community organizing. So for me, art was just the foundation to other things that I could have done. It was a foundation for me to do other things, but still have that core value of speaking my mind, using my art, using my talent, using my ideas for the voiceless, and continue to do that. I might not necessarily be the best artist, and you look and sound like a rapper, by the way. Yes, I look like a rapper, sound like a rapper. I love rap. I love hip hop. I love hip hop. I think hip hop. That's what hip hop is actually all about. Actually, if you really think about it, I feel like I embody hip hop culture. As now is more modal than before. I do art. I do music. I dance a little bit. B-boying. Graffiti. I didn't do graffiti, but I've hung out with lots of people who done graffiti and all that, and part of that culture. So I do embody actual hip hop culture. If anything, if anything, I'm actually carrying that tradition as a hip hopper. I just don't do rapping a lot, as I should, which I'm working on that, which I'm working on a music project right now. So it's very awesome to see that. That's another reason why I became an artist, because of hip hop. Even though I actually learned about hip hop later on in life. Got any music coming out soon? Yes, I do got some music coming out soon. Well, not soon, but it's coming out soon. I actually was putting together a compilation of of instrumentals I've done in the past. Because I'd never done that, never released a beat tape. And most of the beats I've done are okay. I'm still working on that. Not Kanye West, but even though some people said I talk and sound like him, I don't know why. Maybe I think the same way, but we both Gemini. And we both are artistic. I feel like some of the stuff that Kanye West does artistically sounds like something I would do. Maybe he's spying on me. Who knows? Though there are certain things that have happened in my life, like music, because I follow a lot of musicians on Instagram, and that I've noticed, like sometimes, like, hey man, that looks something I would have done. Like, are you spying on me? Like the Kids See Ghosts thing. Like the artwork looks familiar to something that I've done, but I don't know. I don't care. Sometimes that happens though. A lot of people think alike in the art world. Like some things, like, whoa, I was thinking the same thing too, But it happens sometimes. But it's great to see that like a lot of people think positively and similar to what you are. Of course, if everyone thought negatively like you thought negative, then that might be a problem. Don't spread the hate. Spread love. And that's one thing as an artist that we should do, is just always spread positivity. Of course, you always meet other artists downplaying other artists. And I've always noticed too, like a lot of artists I've met in my life, they're always snooty and like, oh, I've been in this gallery. What have you been? But you draw better than them. But it happens that way sometimes in life. You're gonna meet people who think they're better than you, but at the end of the day, it's all about how much hard work you put into. The work you put into matters the most. I know artists that are better than me, but they don't try to get out more opportunities because they stuck on the moment. As for me, I'm not the best, but I'm willing to go out there, experiment, willing to go out, collaborate, and keep pushing forward. At the end of the day, it's all about longevity. Like YouTube. Some people just quit because, oh, I only got one subscriber, and then, okay, this is not for me. But for me, it's like, just keep going. You might not make the best videos, but if you're willing to push yourself and push the boundaries, I'm not gonna make different channels, by the way. I'm only make one channel, and I'm just gonna post videos that I think is motivating for me. But at the same time, if I know that people like it, why stop? If people are already expecting what I'm going to post, why stop? And that's one thing as an artist, is that you have to keep pushing yourself and never lose your drive. I know I have 650 subscribers. It's not a lot. It's a lot, actually, to believe it or not. But I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna keep pushing. Even if I have 1 million subscribers, I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna keep going. You know what I mean? Because you don't lose your drive. And the more you put yourself in position for longevity, and the more you're willing to go outside the box, whether it's positively or negatively, it happens. I mean, look at a lot of musicians. I mean, especially like musicians like Queen or I don't know, like Daft Punk. Maybe they were doing this style or trend of music for a long time, and then maybe they release an album where it's like totally different. People hate it, and then like 30 years later, people say, "Wow, this actually was amazing. Like this album actually, pushed the boundaries and actually created other genres of music." And that's usually what happens, because a lot of people are always stuck in the now. They think, well, this is how it's supposed to be, and then when somebody else does it, and similar to what that other person does, it's like, oh yeah, I can see now. Like I see what happens. Especially like in hip hop music. Like trap music right now is hot, but it's gonna take a few other people to actually push another genre of hip hop forward, another style forward, and say, okay, trap is dead. We're in this style right now, and that's what happens. I mean, I don't think I'm pushing any boundaries in YouTube. Maybe not. Maybe within my community of YouTubers, maybe I'm doing something different that most people like. At first they might, oh, I don't like that, but then they actually start doing it, and then, and then they'll never give me credit for that too. Hopefully, give me a shout out. But I feel like that's what art is about. Art is about pushing boundaries. Okay, yeah, people are gonna hate it. Maybe you lose fans, but maybe years down the line, as long as it's good quality and as long as you're pushing yourself, it's all that matters. So yes. But as I said before, being an artist for me is something that I always enjoy, and it's something that I appreciate, and it's something that I love to do, because I know that I'm using my talent in the way to spread my voice, but also doing things that most people probably weren't able to do. And I hope, I hope that, I don't lose this drive. I just keep going and just keep pushing myself. So, as I said before, if you're an artist, if you're a filmmaker, if you're a YouTuber, don't give up. Always push yourself forward. Don't be afraid to try new things. You know, don't listen to a lot of critics, because some people don't understand your mind. People don't understand what your motivation is. The only thing they can do is to support you, whether they like it or not. Say, I don't like this, but I'll support you, man. And if you succeed, then they're like, well, now I know what you were trying to do. If you don't succeed, you just gotta try again. And that's pretty much it. So if you like this video, hit the like button. If you dislike this video, then at least tell me why. I dislike this video because you were being too motivational and too positive. Be negative. I'm joking. And I will be posting a video next week, an actual real video next week with my boy Alex. And subscribe to this channel, share this video, say, hey, this guy right here, he's got some good stuff. And maybe I'll talk more about my artistic endeavors and other things. So, I hope you guys enjoy your day. I hope you guys have so much fun. Or if it's nighttime, good night. Have a great night. And I see you guys in the next one. Peace.